talked to Colin Greening, Chris Mueller, Vincent Loverde, Ben Smith, all these guys, they all said they wanted to come here to win. How gratifying is it to see those guys pay off, not just for yourself, but for Sheldon and the team?
Well, they've been a major part of the team having success, not just, and when you talk about success at this level, it's not just to do with winning, it's to do with developing. And I think you can speak to the younger guys on the team, and I know that most people here have throughout the week, to get a sense of what the impact is of those older players. And when you're building a team here in the American League, you're trying to find veteran players that can set a great example for the younger athletes that are coming in, both on and off the ice. And I think they all bring different elements to their personalities and their habit base, and they've been terrific for our young people here, and they all want to win desperately. And so to be here in the finals for them is a very gratifying experience, and it only helps them in their future, and certainly here or elsewhere. So I'm very, very happy for those guys.
I know in the beginning when you brought Sheldon Keefe in, you were excited to see what he could do with the resources of the Maple Leafs. Can you give us the 3-year synopsis and going into this Calder Cup, your thoughts?
Well, I'm very happy for Sheldon, and I think he's a very, very talented coach, continues to get better, much like the players every day. And so it's been a very gratifying experience to see that continued development on his part. You know, I know his future is very, very bright, and the thing that I've seen him do here is take all of the resources that we have on the player development side, on the strength and conditioning side particularly, and with our player development staff, the technical staff led by Scott Pellerin. And he's done just a great job incorporating that all in, and not only just incorporating it in at large, but with a great purpose. And Sheldon and Scott have worked closely on that, and to see them do all of that purely for the benefit of the players' technical and individual development, I think that's what's helped lead to the on-ice success here of the team.
How much do you subscribe to success at this level bubbling up, hopefully at the next level with whatever energy of players coming up?
Well, I think that, you know, it's tough to use Vegas as an example, but if you look at Washington as an example, you know, they put a huge degree of emphasis on Hershey being a contending team year in and year out. You go back through the different teams that were in the Stanley Cup last year. You've got Milwaukee and Wilkes-Barre, and with Pittsburgh and Nashville respectively, and those teams put a huge emphasis on it. Our team here, really since that predates me, has been a contending team, and now you're starting to see that pay off with the Leafs starting to take another turn. I think nobody in athletics tries to be uncompetitive at any level, but I think, you know, and that's why the team building exercise here has been an important one and a great one. I know a lot of times it's kind of glanced over. You hear about it from different people that, well, it should only be about the young players, it should only be about development, but being here playing in June is a massive experience for the young players on our team, and getting them conditioned for that exercise. That's what we want to do with the Maple Leafs. So starting here, and now they have this experience that they can draw on, I think that only helps each individual player.
A related question, can you talk about the right balance you've struck here with the young guys? Like Liljegren's still getting a lot of time, but you brought in Mueller and a lot of those guys for this reason, and here you are now.
Well, the thing I look at, Lance, and we're proud of here, is that the fact that if you go through roster by roster, the teams that were in the playoffs and the teams that are still in the playoffs, when it comes to entry-level players, the Marlies are right near the top in terms of the number of entry-level players that have played every day. And I know that some teams have used that as a criticism of us, and it's frankly BS, because if you take the amount of ice time that goes to our young people here versus every other team in the league, we're right near the top. And that credit goes to, but all that said, the credit for how those young people have been able to take on the minutes they have and contribute the way they have, again, goes back to Sheldon and to the older players that have helped them come along, and most importantly to those players themselves. They've put in great work with the staff here and have put themselves in a position now, in you know, we're June 1st today, to be contributing members on a team. Timothy Liljegren turned 19 during the season. Most players his age have been long done. They're not eligible to even come close to playing at this stage of the year, and he just continues to get better and better each round, and it's been a great experience for him playing here. So it's been very gratifying to see that development.
On another topic, if you don't mind, the combine's going on in Buffalo.
Sure.
What did the Leafs learn that makes the combine valuable?
Well, I think it's an opportunity. I think the players now are very programmed in their answers there. But if you know, we've tried to invest a lot in trying to find ways that, you know, you have 20 minutes with each player that's there, plus you have interactions with them outside of the actual scheduled meeting. You're trying to get a glimpse into what their personality is. So you're not looking to come in and grade them, say, hey, you got this answer we asked right and this one wrong, and give a final grade. You learn about them on the ice, and you learn about them from talking to their coaches and different people who know them, and then you're just trying to tie it all together with what they're telling you, and when you meet them, to kind of give you a light into what their character and personality really is. And that's really what we tried to accomplish at the Combine. Now they're doing the physical and medical testing, and that's above my expertise, so we'll
but
defer to.
those guys learn, they can take what they learn about their physical
Sure.
and apply it to what it's
Well,
going to mean on the ice.
you can learn some of what the physical limitations of each player may be, but the medical staff will be charged with telling us that. They've done a great job. This is the 4th Combine since I've been here, and it's really been the first. And so every year that I've been here, we have had a Combine. Jeremy Bettel and his staff have been involved with Noah Foreman, Paul Ayotte, and what they're able to do and learn from the testing is of great value to us. Not in terms of saying this player is going to not be a Leaf or yes he is, but in terms of, hey, if we draft this player, here's the work we're going to need to do immediately after the draft to get him to reach his potential. So I think it's of great value to us both on and off the ice. And there's no really on-ice portion of it, but off the ice in the weight room and then off the ice character.
Now that you're in charge, are you a believer in off-the-wall questions? And if so, do you have a favorite? Or?
I think off-the-wall questions. I mean, I left the question creating to people with far more expertise at this stuff than I, and we were just really trying to find out, about the player's character and what their personality was. So I don't think anything was off the wall. We tried to get the players to be a little bit more introspective and find out what intrinsically drives them. I wouldn't say that anything was really off the wall. We tried to learn about them as much as we could as a person in 20 minutes, which is very tough to do.
Talk about the medical staff, and a lot of times young guys come in, like Timothy Liljegren, come into the American League and get banged up a little bit because they haven't dropped into their big paws, you might say. How much credit can you give to this staff to keep these young guys healthy throughout the year?
I don't even think it's just keeping them healthy. It's keeping them healthy, but also with the program we have here, with Rich Rotenberg leading it at this level, Jordan Obe and Trevor St. Agath, it's not only keeping them healthy, it's putting in a program in place, and you can't do this without the buy-in from the coaching staff of having specific days where they're coming in and they're continuing to get stronger as the year goes on, because you can't just forego the physical development of some of your young people to say, okay, well, we're in the playoffs now, we're going to drop that piece, we'll pick it up in July. It's continuing it on so that we're setting up these people well for the playoffs, for their summer to come back in again next year. So it's not only the credit of keeping them healthy, it's getting them stronger as the year's gone on, and they've done a great job here, and they're a huge part of our team.
What would winning a Calder Cup mean for you personally?
Personally, I never really thought of that. Honestly, I would be, maybe as we get going here, it'll come more into focus. But I'd be thrilled for Sheldon. I'd be thrilled for not only Sheldon, but the people who are around the team every day here, media people, the people who work in the building, our leadership group, the equipment staff. Like, those people work extremely hard all year. I have a relatively cushy job compared to them, and they do a lot of hard work. So for me, it would mean a lot to see how happy they would be after working so hard for so long. And I think it would be great for the city, obviously. I think it'd be great for the organization. And I think personally I would benefit from it because of the experience it's given to the people here winning and doing my job with the Maple Leafs. But in terms of my personal thoughts on it, I guess maybe I've been distracted a little bit and thinking about it of late. But as we get going here tomorrow, it'll come into focus. But it would be, obviously that's our goal here this series.
Would that be like the peak of your career, do you think, to this point?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what the peak of my career would be. I would be thrilled. I think it would give validation to a lot of the processes that people have questioned, whether it's been in Sault Ste. Marie or here. So I think it would just eliminate one more question from the pile, and if we can get to no questions left, that'd probably be great, but we probably have a much larger task ahead to get there. But I would be happy for the people that have been along for the ride. I'd be really happy for the families of the people here and for my own family, because it's a long journey and a long season. They go along with you forward every step of the way. It's not just you that does it, your family, your friends, and so it would obviously be exciting, and I'd be happy for them because they share in it as well.
Going back to the draft, how are you and your team feeling heading into it without Mark Hunter obviously being here?
I mean, I think the circumstances are what they are. It's unfortunate, but it's like anything. We've, since that decision has come down, we've just moved straight ahead with it, and I was really happy with the staff during the whole week in Buffalo. I thought every member that we had there did a great job, and right away getting focused. We had meetings at the beginning to kind of set the tone what we wanted to do, and then we had meetings yesterday, and they're going to meet today without me there to kind of chart the course for the next couple of weeks ahead. So I feel very, very good about our preparation and our processes that we have in place, and I'm excited for it. It's always a big day for any organization you get to add, and right now we'll have the opportunity to add 7 more potential Leafs to our organization. So it's very exciting.
Will you be heading up the process and leading the draft?
I'll be. I don't like to say heading up. I'll be working with our area directors and with our assistant GMs and with Brandon Pridham and Lawrence Gilman, and it's an all-encompassing approach here. That's just the way that I like to do it. So we'll bring everybody involved, and we'll narrow our focus here in the coming weeks, and then we'll push ahead in Dallas.
Are there any holes in the front office that you'd like to see filled sooner than later? Are there any timelines put in place?
I feel good about the front office right now. It's interacting with everybody there for the first time this week. It was very good to see everyone kind of came together. You're always, I think, if you can improve, you're always looking to, but we'll look at that once we get through the draft. There won't be anything imminent here in the next number of weeks.
Brandon and Lawrence, what have they meant or the adds to the organization in that regard?
Well, Brandon has been here for 4 years, and so I know his expertise and what he brings every day, and he's outstanding at what he does, not only the contract, salary cap, and league matters, but just in his process and the way he thinks about hockey. He will openly disagree with me, which I always appreciate, and I'm oftentimes when I get going down the wrong road, I want people who can tell me, hey, you're going to be dead wrong here, and so it makes me stop and think, and Brandon and I have that relationship, which I think is great. Lawrence has been here now for a few weeks, and he's just kind of getting his feet wet. He's going to move from Vancouver here, but he's got a lot of experience in hockey with a number of different organizations and a number of different roles, and so far, just the way that he thinks in his process, and he's very different. He's very open in his dissent with me and with others, and that's what I love. I like that. I want that. It's respectful, but hey, this is how we did it. This is how we should change, so on and so forth. So it's been a great dynamic so far, and I'm sure as we get more comfortable with one another in these roles, it's only going to get better.
There's some questions earlier about what this run has meant to the organization, what it does mean. Do you have a ballpark or a number in mind of how many guys from the ice out here that you'd like to see on the Leafs next year?
I think that'll be decided in training camp. I mean, I think it's hard to predict the way things are going to go during the summer, different transactions and different things of that matter. But I think a lot of players have opened up a lot of eyes in the organization through the run, and make you say, rather than, well, maybe he's going to have to go back to the Marlies next year, they start to say, hey, you know what, we've got to give him a bigger look in training camp and give him more exhibition games, and that's what these guys have earned. They've earned that ability through their play with this run, and so I think what it's done is really broaden our horizons and our depth and the scope of which we look at how we're going to filter the organization through to training camp and the opportunities that different people have. So that's exciting, and these guys have earned it.